I'm 45 years old, and I just opened a brokerage account for the very first time. I sat there, staring at the screen with my finger over the button. And then I closed the laptop without doing a single thing. Because a little voice in my head said, it's already too late, so why even bother?
Hey, that little voice is me, and honestly, I'm just being realistic for you. Think about it, big guy. The whole game is starting at 25. Compound interest, 40 years of growth, the snowball, all that magazine stuff. You missed the boat, so why stress yourself out chasing it now? Wait a few years, let things settle, kids out of the house, and start when it's comfortable.
Before you listen to that, let me ask you one simple question. How old do you plan to be when you stop working?
I don't know, 65, maybe 67 if I'm honest.
So you're 45 right now. That's 20 years of growth still sitting right in front of you.
20 years, when you say it out loud, doesn't actually sound like nothing.
20 years, 40 years, who's counting? The point is, you're behind, and behind people should wait until they feel ready.
That's the most expensive sentence in this entire conversation. Let me show you exactly what 20 years can still do.
Okay, but be honest with me, because I can't take another disappointment here. Is 20 years actually enough to matter, or are we just making me feel better?
Real numbers, no pep talk, I promise. Say you put away $500 a month starting now. We'll assume a 7% average return, which is roughly the long-run market average after inflation. Over 20 years, that grows to about $260,000.
Wait, $260,000 from $500 a month?
From $500 a month, starting at 45, stopping at 65. And here's the part that'll get you only about $120,000 of that is money you actually put in. The other $140,000 is growth, the market doing the work while you sleep.
So even starting now, more than half of it is free?
More than half of it is compounding, which is the closest thing to free money that's actually real.
Okay, sure, but 260 grand isn't exactly retire on a yacht money. You'd have way more if you'd started 20 years ago. Admit it.
He's not arguing with me, he's arguing with a time machine he doesn't own. The question is never, what if I'd started at 25? The only question that pays you anything is what if I start today versus later?
And that's exactly the thing the little voice keeps whispering. Just wait. Start later.
Then let's price out later, because later has a number, and it's brutal. Same $500 a month, same 7%, but you wait 10 years and start at 55 instead. Now you only have 10 years to grow before 65. That same $500 a month grows to about $86,000.
Hold on, let me make sure I heard that right. Start now, $260,000. Wait 10 years, $86,000.
Same monthly amount, same return. The only thing you changed was when you began.
That's not a small difference. That's the whole thing collapsing.
Waiting 1 decade roughly cuts your result down to a third. Not a third less, a third of the total, you keep 1 and you throw 2 away.
Whoa, that math feels rigged. Run it again.
It's not rigged, it's just compounding, and compounding hates being rushed at the end. Your money makes the most money in the final years, when the balance is biggest. When you wait, you chop off the very years that were going to do the heavy lifting.
So the years I'd be skipping are literally the strongest years?
The strongest ones every time. The first decade plants the tree. The second decade is when it actually grows fruit. Wait, and you only ever get the planting, never the harvest.
Okay, that's a cute metaphor, but here's my counter, and it's a good one. You're 45, you've got a mortgage, maybe a kid in college, life is expensive right now. $500 a month is real, so just wait until things loosen up and then go hard.
And that right there is the trap underneath the trap. Things never loosen up on their own. The expenses just change costumes. College becomes a wedding, the mortgage becomes a roof, there's always a next thing.
That's painfully accurate. Every time I think I'll have room, something eats it.
Which is exactly why waiting for the perfect moment is how decades quietly disappear. But here's what nobody told you, and it's the best news in this whole video.
I could really use some good news right about now.
You have a secret weapon at 45 that your 25-year-old self could only dream about. You make real money now.
I mean, yeah, I make a lot more than I did in my 20s.
Back then, you were broke, scraping rent, eating cereal for dinner. Even if you'd known about all this, you couldn't have spared $50. Now you're at peak earning years, and you can often save far more than your younger self ever could.
Sure, but he can also spend more. That's the fun part of making money.
That's the choice on the table, and it's the only choice that matters. At 45, you don't need 40 years of tiny contributions. You need 20 years of serious ones, and your income can actually carry them.
So the thing I was treating as my weakness, being older, comes with its own advantage.
You're not behind, you're just playing a different position with a fuller wallet. A broke kid has time but no money, you have money and still plenty of time. Honestly, that's a stronger hand than people give it credit for.
All right, fine. But if he's behind, shouldn't he catch up fast? Here's my big idea, and you're going to love this one. Forget the boring index funds. He's late, so he needs to swing big. Crypto, hot stocks, one of those tips your brother-in-law swears by, that's how you make up lost ground.
No, and this is the single most dangerous instinct a late starter has. The "I'm behind so I'll gamble to catch up" move is exactly how late starters lose what little time they have left.
But it does feel logical, though. Swing harder. Because I started later.
It feels logical, and it's how people turn 20 years into zero. A young person who loses everything on a bad bet has decades to recover. At 45, you don't have the runway to undo a wipeout. So the late starter's job isn't to gamble, it's to be relentlessly, boringly consistent.
Boring. That word again. Nobody ever got rich being boring.
Almost everybody who stays rich got there being boring. You just never hear about them. The loud ones are either selling you something or about to lose it all.
Okay, so if I'm not chasing the hot tip, what do I actually buy?
A low-cost index fund, the kind that just owns a slice of the whole market. You're not betting on one company, you're betting that the economy keeps growing over 20 years. That bet has paid off across every 20-year stretch in modern history.
So I'm buying a little piece of everything, instead of guessing the one winner.
Exactly. You stop trying to be a genius, and you just own the average. And the average, over 20 years, is how regular people quietly become wealthy.
But the average is so slow. Where's the thrill? Where's the story?
The thrill is opening your statement at 65 and seeing $250,000 you didn't think you could have. That's a better story than any tip your brother-in-law ever told you.
All right, this is starting to feel possible, but I need it broken into something I can actually do. Because if it's too complicated, I'll close the laptop again. You know I will.
It's 3 moves, and none of them require willpower. That's the whole point. Move 1, open the account and turn on automatic investing today. Not Monday, not after the holidays. Today, while you can feel this.
Or, sleep on it, do more research, watch 10 more videos.
That's not research. That's just waiting with extra steps. Set up an automatic transfer the day after payday so the money moves before you can spend it. You never see it, you never miss it, and you never have to be disciplined twice.
So I take the decision away from future me, who I clearly cannot trust.
Future, you will thank you precisely because you didn't ask his permission. Move 2, use the boring index fund and pick a number you can actually sustain. If $500 a month is too tight, start at $300 and raise it with your next raise.
Wait, so I don't have to start at $500 to make this work?
You start where you are. The magic is in starting and not stopping. $300 a month for 20 years at 7% is still around $150,000. The exact number matters less than the fact that you finally turned the thing on.
Fine, but here's a thought. Why not skip the retirement account? Those things are a trap.
No, and this is move 3, and it's where you find the closest thing to free money. If your job offers a 401k match, you grab every dollar of it first. That match is an instant 50 to 100% return the second you contribute.
Wait, my employer actually adds money to mine. I think I've been ignoring that for years.
Then you've been leaving a raise on the table that you already earned. Get the full match first, because nothing else in investing pays you instantly like that. After that, send the rest into a simple Roth IRA or a regular brokerage in that boring index fund.
So the order is grab the free match, then automate the index fund, then just leave it alone.
That's the entire game, written on one napkin, and it beats 90% of clever people.
This is so unsatisfying. There's no drama, no excitement, no near-death and comeback.
The drama is in the comparison. So let's put your two roads side by side, right now. On the right, we'll put Bad Money's plan, and on the left, mine. On the right, you wait until you feel ready, which in real life means starting around 55. 10 years to grow, $500 a month, and you arrive at 65 with about $86,000. On the left, you start today at 45, same 500, same 7%. 20 years to grow, and you arrive at 65 with about $260,000.
So the only difference between $86,000 and $260,000 is starting tonight instead of in 10 years.
One decision made on one evening worth about $170,000.
$170,000 for clicking a button I was already staring at.
Okay, but you can't prove the market does 7%. What if it crashes?
20 years is exactly how you survive a crash, because you've got time to ride back up. The 10-year guy is the one who's actually exposed. One bad stretch near the end, and there's no time to recover. Starting early isn't just more money, it's more safety, which is the opposite of what fear tells you.
So waiting doesn't make me safer. It makes me more fragile.
Waiting feels safe and is fragile. Starting feels scary and is sturdy. That backwards feeling is exactly why so many smart 40-somethings stay frozen.
You're really gonna make him do this, aren't you?
I'm not making him do anything. The $170,000 is doing the talking.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm opening the account back up tonight. I'm turning on automatic investing, and I'm starting at $500 a month.
That's the move. And tomorrow you log into your 401k and turn the match all the way up. Then you close the app and you don't touch it. You let 20 years do its quiet work.
No hot tips, no swinging for the fences, just the boring index fund on autopilot.
Boring on the outside, $260,000 on the inside.
Fine. I'll get him next time he wants to time the market.
We'll be ready, and the answer will still be no.
You know what's strange? I feel different already, and I haven't invested a single dollar yet.
That's because you just stopped believing the lie that it was too late for you. The years were never the problem. The not starting was the problem.
And here's the thing nobody tells you at this age. This was never about being smart enough or rich enough. It was about being shown the start from here version instead of the start at 25 version everybody loves to brag about.
That's almost always how it goes. It's not that you missed your shot, it's that nobody ever showed you the shot you still have.
So here's where I've landed, and maybe you needed to hear it too. If you're 40 plus and that it's too late for me, feeling just hit a little too close to home, you are not behind. You've just never been shown the version that starts from right here, today, with the money you actually make now. Open the account, automate the deposit, grab the match, buy the boring fund. That's it. That's the entire thing, no time machine required. So tell me in the comments which move you're doing first, because I genuinely want to know. Hit the like button if the 260 versus 86 finally made it click for you. And subscribe so Bad Money doesn't get to whisper it's too late to the next person without me there to argue.
Smart and dumb, money moves for 40 and over, one decision at a time.
This is education, not financial advice, but the math is the math.